Hello, this is Lucy Fox from Lucy Fox Arts. Welcome to the Fox Den. Today, I want to show you my Johanna Basford books, and I only have 3 of them right now because I destashed from many of them. What I did was I started in fact coloring with a Johanna Basford book. I had Secret Garden, and later I also got as a gift Enchanted Forest, Magical Jungle. However, those books, they were the Portuguese edition. And the paper was awful. Just awful. Terrible. You could rip a page just by coloring in it. You would mark the other side, like the other page, beneath it. Sometimes 2 or 3 sheets beneath that one you were coloring in because the paper was so bad. So I destashed those and I ordered new versions. I ordered French versions because let's start with this one. In fact, this is Rooms of Wonder, the French version. La Maison des Secrets. And I loved this paper. It's thicker than the others. Not too much thicker, but it's thicker. It's thick enough that we notice very well, and also it handles water better than the UK version, and it handles water better than the American version, I believe. This is one of my favorites. From these 3, if I were to rank them, Worlds of Wonder, Rooms of Wonder, and World of Flowers, my favorite would probably be Rooms of Wonder, followed by Worlds of Wonder, and the last would be my World of Flowers. It's not that I don't like World of Flowers, I like it, I just don't color much in it, to be honest. And the main reason is I think I just disliked Secret Garden very much. It wasn't about the art, it was beautiful. It was really about the paper. It was such a frustrating experience that it turned me off, sort of, so to speak. And the thing is, this reminds me a lot of that one. So I kind of don't color in this one as much as I should. But I like this book quite a lot. The thing that gets me the most is usually paper. If the paper isn't good, then it tends to frustrate me a lot. This, I treated this page, I think it was watercolor ground. However, I didn't sand it. I just applied watercolor ground and I clipped it and let it dry. And I realized that if you sand it down gently, it gets much better than just using this, the watercolor ground by itself, without any kind of polishing of sorts. I think I don't have any. I have abandoned whips here. I tried gel pens, but the gel pens were terrible. It was not the paper this time. It was really cheap, crappy gel pen. A lot. You can even see. Let me see if I can. Maybe I can zoom you in a little bit. Yeah, see, you can see railroading, scratchiness. It's just really bad. I have a page that I started, but I think maybe it's my most I don't know, my favorite whip, which is these tiny flowers. I like that idea. This was a tutorial by Pamela from Pamela Passion for Pencils, I believe. I think this one was too, but I kind of ruined this one. I don't know exactly what I did with it. I don't remember. It's been a long time. And the one I used, watercolor, I didn't like the texture much, but I do intend on coming back to it and finishing it up. I'm not sure about doing any background on it. I'm not sure what I will do on that one, but I do intend on finishing these tiny details here and shading a little bit of these leaves and stuff. In fact, I might do that this week. Yeah, I don't have anything else on this book. This is the one I have the most in, as you can see by the tags here. I have lots of whips here. I just finished the whip, in fact. This is the book I used to test most of my medium on Johanna's books. Also, there was a bit of an accident here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's kind of peeling the paper. It's because one of my cats decided to show me his lunch after eating it, right on top of my book. I managed to clean it, but I had a rag nearby and I cleaned it with that rag. But that rag was a watercolor one and it had watercolors in it and it stained. So I did order another copy of this, the French version, because I did a lot of experiments on these books and on this book in particular, and it was not all of them worked, and some of them even broke my heart, to be honest. This is the one I finished yesterday. It was a tutorial by Black Canetti. I'm so happy how it actually turned out. I'm going to try to use more flash paints on this book because I liked the result. And this page is not treated or anything. It was a off the cuff thing I did. This is one I started with polychromos, but I gave up on this background because I realized it was going to take way too long, like way too long. So I need to go back on it with ink or paint or neocolors. I'm not sure, maybe Inktense, but I need to redo it because it would take way too long with just pencils. Now, this one, I quite like this one. I want to finish it up, but back then, this was around 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm a bit of a nerd. I like One Piece, and I was watching an episode. I saw a submarine from one of the characters. I decided to turn this shark submarine into the pirates submarine. I think it's Polar Tang. It's called. Um, but it leaked through because I used Sharpies, and I don't know if I can fix it because it's in a part that's technically background. I don't know. But like I said, a lot of experiments, and not all of them went well. This is a testing page. I test different pencils and mediums. I like this page a lot. Every time I want to test some blends and combos for new pencils, I come here, like Colorsoft, ChromaFlow, Artisan, Artex. This is the 72 set of Artex because the 126 is behaving quite differently than my original 72s. I am recording a video about that too. This is watercolor pencil. I'm not sure which one. I think it could be either Lyra Aquacolor or maybe Albrecht-Dürer. I'm not sure because I forgot to write the name. Oh yeah, this page I prepped with watercolor. Technically, it's not exactly watercolor. It's an alum technical gelatin solution. It is made for a type of watercolor, for Chinese style watercolors called Gong Bi, I think, the technique. But I figured the fluid might work on this paper, And I'm yet to test it, but the texture is pretty good. It doesn't leave any weird grain like gesso would, nor it doesn't plastify the paper like watercolor ground does a little bit. Paper still feels like regular paper, so I have high hopes for this one. I went a bit heavy on the application, so I kind of dragged a bit of the ink of the illustration, but I don't expect that to be a problem. I have this one as well. I also applied a sizing, but it's not the same. It's a watercolor repair solution. It is also a Chinese one, but it's not the same as the alum solution that I applied on the other page. The feel is different as well. The application feels different. It is very different. You can see it is not the same product at all. But it still feels like paper, and I tried other papers that I sized with this solution, and they worked pretty well. This is made of gouache mostly, and some color pencils. I like how this turned out, even though if I were to do it again, I would probably do it a bit differently. I did stain because I thought I had put a protective sheet underneath, but turns out I didn't. So I stained the corners of other pages while I did that. This terrarium of sorts with flowers and butterflies. This is a video I'm working on. I'm testing Derwent pencil. I also did one of Holbein. I even posted a video about it. I'm testing pencils in this book. I plan on testing more pencils and using these other illustrations for it. I'm liking the result. I mean, they work okay on it. But clearly there are pencils that work better than others. Like Holbein worked amazingly, but I only have like, I don't know, 7 pencils. This one here, I was experimenting with watercolor pencils, and unfortunately some of them didn't dissolve at all, so I didn't like it. That's why I kind of abandoned this, but I do have to come back to it and finish, because other than that, it's looking pretty good, and I need to, I think with maybe some Prismacolors or a softer, more opaque pencil, I can fix this, hopefully. This is another experiment. I used watercolor, but in this case in particular, I didn't treat the paper before, and it ruined a bunch of other pages, and that's why it broke my heart, like really bad. Because I'm actually liking how it's turning out, you know, but it did leak through. And let me see if I can hold the book. I don't know if you can see, but it's all blue, all turned blue. I painted with acrylic on top of this to try to mitigate the bluish, but the blueness of it, it didn't work very well. And then I used some cheap gouache. It was, I think, Himi, and I did not like the performance of those. They don't apply very flatly. They get really streaky. I didn't like how it turned out, but, well, I will try to continue painting this. But the one that broke my heart the most is, the whole reason I wanted this book is because I saw a Chris Chang tutorial of this page. And I don't know if it was a color along or a tutorial, but anyway, it was beautiful, and I wanted to color in it, and unfortunately it leaked through here as well. And I don't think, I tried to fix it applying some layer of acrylic paint as well. This is matte fluid acrylic, but I did not like the texture. I did not like the result. of how it turned out. So I'm just glad I ordered another version of this book because I do want to color and follow along that color along. It also leaked through here. This one I don't mind much, but it did leak through here and even through here. So it was basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages that the watercolor leaked through. And I was fairly conservative with my water, but I also treated it like it was at watercolor paper when I shouldn't have. I tried to do a wet wash, and obviously it is not a good idea. I have another one here. Here. This was me testing out also. I did acrylic here as well. It's, again, fluid acrylic, matte fluid acrylic. Wow. Words are hard today. And then but this one I sanded it down. Here I used water-based markers, I think, or maybe watercolor pencil. I'm not really sure. I know the jujube thing here, this gummy bean, is actually made with maybe gouache. I think this one was color pencil. I think this one was also gouache. Not sure really. These were watercolor pencils. This was, I think this was Prismacolor. These donut, the cupcake, and the popsicles, they were this popsicle, the upside down one, was with Prismacolors. The rest of them were all polychromos. I think these were polychromos as well. And I think these were polychromos too. Same thing for the spoon here. I did use a white Posca for the reflection of the metal. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this. I don't know yet what I'm going to do. This was another experiment. I had found a online recipe for watercolor sizing. It's gelatin based, but is made with home gelatin, the kind you buy at the supermarket. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it, but as you can see, I was able to use Prismacolors and Artezas and go on top of it well enough that the whole scene can still be salvaged, I believe. And yes, it didn't leak through. It sort of fulfilled its purpose, this sizing, but it shrunk the paper, it curled the paper. I didn't like the result. As for this one here, I'm testing budget pencils, and I'm doing little houses. This is rather smooth paper, so I am testing my budget pencils on smooth paper on this book, and I printed on Nina Bristol Vellum the for more toothy paper to test my budget pencils on. This is Nione. I will probably make a video about that too. I don't think I have any others. Nope. That's it for this book. And this is Rooms of Wonder. I almost don't have anything in this book, really. I think I have 2. One finished, one with. And it's mostly because I like this book so much that I'm afraid to ruin it. So I'm being very careful and picky on what I do in this book. Let me see. Yeah. Almost untouched. I have these. Okay, so this will be a second whip. I started this. This is Polychromos and Caran d'Ache full blender. I like how my Polychromos work on this paper, but I did not like how it worked on the American edition. Not as much as my Prismas, anyway. Here, it's another tutorial I was following along. This is watercolor with some color pencil. but it's mostly watercolor, to be honest. White gesso was used. This page was treated with watercolor ground. I did sand it. No, actually, no, I lied. I didn't sand it. And because I was being stingy with my watercolor ground, I don't have much of it. So I applied too little here on the bottom. And these parts that are stained are because there wasn't enough of the product. And there are parts that the product's just not there. That's why it's stained. And because I didn't sand properly, you can even see streaknesses from the brush when I applied. Let me see if I can pull it. Yeah, can you see streakness here? There's here, here, also here. But despite of the streakness, I love the result. I love the experience. I am no watercolor master. I am terrible with watercolor. I love it, but I'm definitely not good with it. And in terms of techniques and proficiency with the medium, I just like it because it's very practical, easy to cover large areas, and it's somewhat liftable. But I love these results. Loved it. I am so happy with this. But this was on Black Canetti. Yeah, Irena from Black Canetti. And she only did the top 3, so I have no idea what I'm gonna do with the bottom 3. I started some things, but I need to go back and create a plan, sort of match what was done on the top. But I don't know yet. We'll see how that goes. And my last one, this is a completed page, is this one. I did only with metallic pencils. I'm thinking about adding some color in the background, but I'll probably do that with soft pastels. These are Color metallic pencils, is the 50 set. I wanted to test how they blend because I've seen reviews of other pencils, like the Brute Funder's not blending all that well, and they're made in the same factory, so I thought, what if they don't blend all that well? Also, I realized that I first purchased the 180 color set, and it had like 12 pencils that are metallic. I liked the result because they look like they have glitter in it, and they're incredibly soft for a metallic pencil. Most metallic pencils I ever tried before were scratchy, and they had this grayish undertone. I don't know, I didn't like them. But these they look like they have glitter on it, and I don't know, I don't think you can see it, but it's quite pretty, and they felt quite soft for a budget metallic pencil. I mean, I don't mean soft like Color Soft or ChromaFlow or during drawing or Prismacolor. No, I mean it's soft for a budget pencil, and they're very good in pigment as well for their price. Well, that's it for this book, and that's it for my collection of Johanna Basford books. I do believe I will receive Enchanted Forest, Magical Jungle, Worlds of Wonder, Magical Worlds. Yeah, I think those are the ones that are on the mail, on the way to me now. They should arrive within the month, I believe. And I do want to buy Inky and the Butterfly, but I'm waiting because I was sort of making a bit of an inventory of all my books and whips and concluded colored pages, and I realize I have tons of whips, so I have to focus on my whips before buying more books. For now, anyway. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you for your company. I wish you an amazing evening, and see you in the next one. Bye!